Hill climbs, a race where you find the side of a hill with a bit of road or surface and drive up it as fast as you can, hoping to set the best time. It's a simple form of motorsport that's been around pretty much since the invention of the car, and indeed the first hill climb event occurred in France in the year 1897, some 7 years before the now famous Chelsea-Walsh hill climb circuit would open. By the 1930s, it was such a popular way to spend the day. All over the country, little hill climb circuits were being set up by landowners or enthusiastic racing clubs. Then that pesky second small disagreement of 1939 to 1945 came along, and with everyone preoccupied with that, there wasn't much time to go racing. But with the war thing coming to an end in 1945 and a group of motoring enthusiasts known as the Bristol Motor Club growing ever impatient to get back to racing, an event was organised for August of 1945, and it would be the first hill climb race event held since the start of the war. Their venue of choice was here, in the grounds of Naish House. It's located in Somerset to the south of Clapton on Gordano, and the Bristol Motor Club had previously run events at this venue in 1937 before being rudely interrupted by some Austrian bloke. The event proved to be popular, which wasn't really the plan. The motor club didn't really advertise or suggest that spectators came along, but on the day 600 to 700 people turned up to witness 25 motorcycles and 35 cars, each in turn thrash it up a hillside. Autocar magazine wrote at the time, summarising the event, "It's impossible to imagine today just how everyone felt after the traumas and uncertainty of World War II. The circuit they'd set up utilised a farm track, and initially that's all it was. It featured 5 corners and it would wind its way up the hillside to a height of 60 metres over its 800-metre length. In 1948, members of the club sought to improve their circuit by installing a proper hard surface around the cornered sections of the track, although interestingly the straight sections were not resurfaced. Only 2 years later, the track was threatened with closure following the sale of Naish House. Its new owners, to begin with, weren't all that excited about having a hill climb circuit in their garden. However, after a year of discussions and negotiations, a lease was secured with a new property owner, allowing racing to continue, which it did in 1951. The track would be slightly extended in 1952, but not before driver Wally Cuff set a record lap time of 43.4 seconds, a time that would never be beaten due to the changes made to the track. However, Wally was an experienced Naish Hill driver, and he promptly set the lap record for the newer, longer track with a time of 44.2 seconds in a vehicle that he called Hell's Hammers. These lap times remain as the fastest times to be recorded at Naish Hill, and there's no chance of that record ever being beaten. The last event would be held at Naish House in 1958. It's not clear as to why they stopped racing, but it's most likely because around this time rumours would have begun to surface about the construction of a new fancy road called the M5 motorway. Work was due to begin within a few years, and the M5 would run directly through the middle of Naish House's hill climb circuit, slicing it into two, and obviously rendering it useless. My assumption is that the motor club using the venue moved out as quickly as they could to avoid any hassle. So what's left of this historic racing venue? Not a lot really, but then there wasn't exactly a lot here to begin with. The biggest giveaway that something used to be here are the remains of the hard surface corners that you'll spot on aerial photos. These show where some of the corners used to be, and comparing it with some older maps allows us to trace out the circuit as it once was. Today, with the M5 motorway being where it is, there's no chance that racing will return to Naish Hill, meaning Wally Cuff's lap records will stand for the rest of time. Thanks for watching.